exercise produces more butyrate. Butyrate.
Say it again.
Butyrate. No.
Butyrate.
Butyrate. Oh my god, I
I
can't
am dead.
It's just for you. So you know, it's spelled Butyrate. I don't know why.
You have to call it butyrate from now on.
All right. Butyrate, or what's the correct?
Butyrate.
Butyrate. Okay. Exercise. The funny thing is it doesn't produce butyrate. Your booty rate's up.
Doctor said you got PCOS. Now go on, girl, just lose some weight. Till I took the symptoms into my own hands and reversed them naturally. So I became a dietitian to help my sisters feel the best they've ever felt. Take a step in my direction if you wanna prove them wrong and take control of yourself. Join a sister and a
So up. I recorded so many workout voiceovers yesterday. I don't even know like what the next sentence I'm going to say is. So like I think you should just take over this podcast at this point in our lives.
I have to take over this podcast one way or another because it's about gut health. And I feel like as a dietitian, I have a lot to say about this. But seeing as you're falling apart,
feeling.
I have a gut feeling that you're going to fall apart during this podcast episode. Yesterday, you were literally locked up in your room until 8 p.m. All day, recording voiceovers for new workouts that are going to go in our app. And, you know, I'm really proud of you. You did a great job. I listened from outside your door.
You did? How long?
Just like a few seconds. I mean, I kept every time I walked by, I was like, "Ooh, I wonder how he's doing. I wonder if he's okay. Does he need help?" And then finally at 8 o'clock, I was like, "Okay, I ate dinner. Is he ever gonna come out? Is he ever gonna come downstairs?"
Most people don't even know what we're talking about right now. But basically, last week we recorded 40 new workouts last week. We like rented a house. I wouldn't even rent the house. It was like a peer space where you can rent it for like a few hours because our house is not done yet. So we rented this house, went there, and then in like 5 or 6 hours, we recorded 40 workouts. Since they're going into the app and they're going to be like individual exercises, they're not full workouts. So it's not like we did a full workout. It was like we did like each exercise for like 30 seconds. And all Tallinn, by the way.
Oh, but yeah, I did the heavy lifting then, and now Sirak's doing the heavy lifting now with the voiceovers.
Yeah, but literally Tallinn did, so 40 workouts, 4 exercises each. That's 160 exercises that Tallinn did. I want everyone to think about that for a second. 160 exercises Tallinn did.
I worked out from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah. Each of them like 20 to 30 seconds so we could get it all good footage for the app.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. Just great job, babe. You did amazing.
You know, and I was supposed to start my period that day, and I didn't. I didn't feel it coming. Maybe it was going to come a little late, but like my period ended up being a week late, and I almost wonder if it's because I stressed my body that day, you know? But I really did. It was like 9 to 5. It's okay. It's like one time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was most likely from that or you overworked out 100%.
For sure.
You were dead the next day. You were dead later that day.
I was in a bad mood. I was like, don't touch me. I'm going to die. I was just out for the count.
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
I think so. And then now this week I'm basically going over each video and recording a voiceover over it to kind of basically explain the movement, how to breathe, how to make sure you're doing everything right. So like it all works together in the app. So if you remember, this month, July, that will be updated towards the end of the month. We're going to basically update all the workouts there. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, sisters.
All right, let's get back to gut health for this episode. Give us a little introduction time to what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. So if you've ever heard of the term leaky gut, you might have heard it from us talking about it, or maybe if you have a naturopathic doctor. It's kind of controversial because naturopathic doctors, you know, they really work on gut health, but mainstream medicine doesn't really put that into consideration when you go into your gynecologist's office and say you have PCOS, they're not going to talk about gut health.
Yeah.
But it has a lot to do. There's a big connection between gut health and PCOS, and we're going to get into it.
Hmm.
So if you have symptoms like digestive issues, if you're bloated all the time, if you have abdominal pain, discomfort, indigestion, nausea, like these are all signs and symptoms of having leaky gut. And this can lead to chronic inflammation and PCOS. So we're going to get all up into that today.
Yes. But first, let's do the wins of the week. This is Motivation Tuesday, where we highlight recent wins from fellow sisters. The first one is Casey. She sent us a message that says, "Hi, sisters. I can't thank this group and the Sisterhood app enough for helping me figure out what my body actually needs to succeed. I've always been super self-conscious of my stomach because I could never seem to get the bloat to go away. But with the supplements and going dairy and gluten-free most of the time, I have actually changed my life completely. My confidence is like nothing I've experienced before, even though I'm still working to get to my goal weight. I've lost 28 pounds so far. The difference I feel is astounding."
Oh,
Amazing,
that's
Casey.
awesome.
Congratulations. We're so happy for you. And I mean, I love hearing that about her confidence and just feeling better about herself. That's the best part.
Yeah, and what a transformation, and totally related to the podcast we're about to do.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, next we have Brienne from the Sisterhood. She says she posted a picture of her lunch. It's mixed greens, cucumber, quinoa, chicken.
Such
She
a great
says-
photo. Such a close-up photo of the thing. I can see the
Yeah.
inside of the chicken
I
fibers.
know. What a great shot. She says she used Talline's lemon tahini dressing. She must follow me on Instagram. That's where I post that one. She says, "I've been following Talline and Sirak's podcast for a couple years and been here in the Sisterhood for less than a year. But thanks to their recommendations and more recently from my naturopath, my cycles are down to 60 to 70 days. Not ideal, but definitely a win compared to having 1 or 2 a year like I was having previously. I also recently started going weekly for acupuncture. So all in all, we hope we can soon give our little boy a sibling."
That's amazing.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Sounds like you're on the right track. And, this lemon tahini dressing looks so amazing in this 4K picture that you posted here.
Yeah, and such a great progress with her cycles too, going from 1 to 2 a year to 60 to 70 days for her
Yeah.
cycles. That's amazing. So
Every
it's just great
couple months.
improvement and just going in the right direction.
So proud of you.
Yeah.
We love seeing these successes. And honestly, it really does start with the gut. Just look at this delicious meal. It's definitely gut
Yeah.
friendly. There's fiber in there and protein in there and healthy fats. And, it makes a really big difference when you change your diet
Oh,
with
yeah.
your gut health. And then, as a result, your PCOS symptoms.
I mean, the photos that we see sometimes, like, the ones that we talk about on the podcast, they're usually always from the Sisterhood, and like the concoctions the sisters make, the
Yeah.
amazing meals. Sometimes they add their own spin on it. Like, it's always so amazing to see and like always so unique in some perspectives. So it's just like, I don't know. I love to see the pictures. That's my favorite part.
Me too. I love to see the pictures because they're like reincarnate pictures of the professional shots of the meals that we have in the Sisterhood.
Yeah.
So when I see like
And they do it
someone
better.
make their version, I'm like, oh my God, it looks even better when you cut it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
So with that being said,
Leaky gut.
let's get into talking about leaky gut and how it relates to PCOS. And we'll also mention 3 ways to treat it.
Yes. So what is leaky gut time?
Okay, so naturopathic doctors have talked about it for years. I remember, any naturopathic doctor I went to, this was the first thing that they said. But like I mentioned earlier, traditional medicine always discounts it. And we now have scientific evidence of leaky gut, and it's now known as something called intestinal permeability.
Mm-hmm.
So let me explain that. Now, the small intestine is where lots of biochemical reactions happen, so we can absorb nutrients from our food from there. And it has tight junctions to prevent toxins and undigested food in the intestine from entering the body directly. So it's supposed to be impenetrable. So let's talk about how it becomes penetrable and leaky. That's with the protein zonulin. Now, there's a doctor called Dr. Alicio Fasano. She's a researcher, and she discovered that zonulin is a protein, and it's the only known protein that regulates these tight junctions between the intestinal cells. that are supposed to be impermeable. And so when zonulin is released excessively, these tight junctions open and allow the contents of the intestine to get into the bloodstream. And the immune cells become activated in your body. And then that sets off an inflammatory response in your body. And now we have chronic inflammation.
Okay. All right. So there is tight junctions in the intestines which prevent the undigested food, particles, anything from the food to leach into the bloodstream or go into the body, right?
Yeah.
All right. And then zonulin is what opens up those junctions
Yes.
and allows those foreign
Particles
to get into the bloodstream, to get into the body, and it basically cause inflammation.
Havoc, inflammation. Zinc, vitamin D, magnesium, B12, these are all the vitamins that we're deficient in because of PCOS, and the list grows on.
If there was only a way to get all of these into one supplement bundle without going on a massive online search.
Hello.
What?
Isn't that why we created Metabolism Plus?
Oh, you mean our supplement line that covers all the nutrients and vitamins a woman with PCOS needs in one bundle?
Yes. Sisters, when I was diagnosed with PCOS, I was so overwhelmed with researching all the different supplement companies, and eventually I had a huge collection of bottles in my cabinet that I couldn't even keep up with.
So with that in mind, we created a bundle of 4 essential supplements that have the fundamental nutrients for women with PCOS, and it's called Metabolism Plus.
Not only does our bundle include omega-3, coenzyme Q10, curcumin, but it even has a multivitamin designed to fill nutrient gaps that are common in women with PCOS.
And what makes it really special is that all of our supplements are NSF certified, which means they are third-party tested for purity and accuracy.
Head over to ovafit.org to order your Metabolism Plus bundle today.
That's ovafit.org.
Okay, stop smelling. The link is in the description.
How dare you?
So you might be wondering, how the heck does zonulin get triggered?
Yeah, or what causes leaky gut?
Yeah, what causes this leakage? Well, I'll tell you. When we eat inflammatory foods such as gluten, specifically gluten has a protein in it called gliadin. And when this is exposed to our intestinal cells, our cells release zonulin. Then zonulin can loosen up the tight junctions and allow gliadin to get through and into the bloodstream, where it can trigger chronic inflammation or an immune reaction in your body.
Yeah, so zonulin is what we talked about earlier, is what triggers the junctions to open up.
Yeah.
And what triggers zonulin is a protein in gluten called gliadin.
Yes.
Interesting. And is that crazy? Because we eat, like, when you look at the population, literally, like, everybody's eating gluten all day, every day. So, like, constantly that can be triggering zonulin to loosen up the tight junctions and causing inflammation.
And it's important to know that everyone has a different reaction and ability to recover from the gliadin exposure. So, for example, if you have celiac disease, the autoimmune reaction, it's really intense and it takes a lot of time to recover. And in those people who don't have celiac disease, it takes less time to recover. So if you're gluten sensitive, for me, it takes like a day to recover. For someone who's super sensitive, it might take multiple days. And for other people, it might take no time, So everyone is different in their recovery time from exposure to gliadin.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? It's like not like a one size fits all type of thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm sure it also depends, like, how much gluten you usually have, how much gluten, like, for example, when you stop eating gluten for a certain amount of time, your body recovers from it, your body kind of like repairs itself. And then once you have gluten again after it's been a long time, maybe the effects feel worse because your body has had some time to recover from it. Whereas if you have it every day, all the time, your body kind of gets used to it.
You get used to that inflammation. Yeah. And you just live in a chronic state of inflammation without realizing.
The bloat, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I remember being really used to feeling bloated after every meal, and I just thought it was normal. Until I changed my diet up and realized, oh, I feel really light. I feel satisfied, full, but like I'm not super bloated, busting out of my jeans.
Yeah, exactly. And this is like this research about leaky gut has been increasing over the last few years, the last few decades. At first, like, people knew very little about it, but more and more recently, like, there's more research pointing out that this is happening to a lot of people, especially in the United States, because we have a like issue with diet here and like the different kinds of foods that are, very popular in the United States. So I think it's definitely a real problem.
Absolutely. I agree. So how does it relate to PCOS? That is the question. Your intestine is the first entry point for nutrients your body needs. Now, without a healthy gut, your response to other treatments for PCOS are not going to be what you expected because the foods you're eating every single day are going to create chronic inflammation all the time. And all of that effort you put into doing other things to treat PCOS can just be kind of like a waste of time, because how are you going to see the results if you're like constantly triggering inflammation? Yeah, and leaky gut is also linked to malabsorption of nutrients that we need as women with PCOS. Vitamin A, magnesium, zinc, vitamin D, calcium. These are key nutrients, and when they're not there, conditions that are common in PCOS are more aggravated, like anxiety, depression, inflammation, and fatigue. So you're like not able to absorb them.
Yeah, your body is being deprived of these nutrients, and then, like you just said, you can feel more aggravated. Your body basically doesn't have what it needs to run functionally or to run efficiently, and therefore you're going to suffer.
Yeah, exactly.
The hard part about this is a lot of people don't know what's even happening in the first place. Like, you don't know that you're being you're malnutrient or malnourished.
Yeah.
Malnourished, and you don't realize what's happening because it's like inside.
Yeah, like how would you know you don't have zinc or magnesium or vitamin D?
Or how do you know you have leaky gut in the first place?
How would you know? I mean, you have the symptoms, but maybe you got used to those symptoms and you just think it's normal.
Yeah, you think it's something else.
Maybe you think it's just like, oh, today I ate this and so I'm bloated. You don't realize what it could be day after day. And so there are studies that show a correlation between your gut microbiota and your metabolic dysfunction. Microbiota. So that's really significant because PCOS is metabolic dysfunction. And there's a relationship with metabolic dysfunction and your gut. You might be complaining of digestive symptoms, but poor health in your gut can manifest in different ways aside from digestive symptoms. So you can have a headache or moodiness or fatigue or carb cravings, things that are unrelated to bloating, but it has to do with your gut as well.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and these lead to metabolic problems.
Yeah, these actually lead to metabolic problems. There's actually a study that found that women with PCOS had higher levels of bad bacteria strains in their stool sample than non-PCOS women. And this study also demonstrated a positive correlation with BMI and testosterone in women with PCOS who have poor gut bacteria. Wow. So it's all correlated to the issues that we face as women with PCOS.
I'm sure there's some women with PCOS listening right now and being like, wow, even our stools have issues with them. I can't believe this.
I can't even go to the bathroom. Yeah, I know.
But studies also show that an overactive immune system and increased inflammation is linked to reoccurring miscarriage and infertility. So not to throw that statistic down to worry anybody, but it's interesting how all this can be related to infertility, which is something that a lot of women with PCOS are worried about or may face. Everything we're talking about, whether it's gut health or insulin resistance, infertility, there can be connections that can be made.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's important to take it very seriously and make sure that you treat it not just, whether or not you want to have a child in the future, but also just for your health and well-being. Like if you're having headaches all the time and moodiness and fatigue and bloat, like why? Why should we suffer like this? There are ways to treat it. There are ways to manage it. And we have 3 excellent tips for you on how to treat your gut health.
Yes, 3 tips to help gut health. So our first tip is going to be PCOS-friendly exercises. I know you're probably thinking exercises, like how is exercise going to help my gut health? But actually, exercise can change your gut microbiome in a way that nothing else can. There is no substitute. You can't eat extra kale or take probiotics to make up for a lack of exercise. In one recent study, a sedentary group of people were studied while on an exercise routine and then while off the routine. When they started exercising, their microbiomes became more prolific and diverse. When they stopped, their microbiome reverted to a less diverse state. So what is it? What's happening? Well, exercise produces more butyrate.
Say it again.
Butyrate. No.
Butyrate.
Butyrate. Oh my god, I
I
can't
am dead.
It's just for you. So you know, it's spelled Butyrate. I don't know why.
You have to call it butyrate from now on.
All right. Butyrate, or what's the correct?
Butyrate.
Butyrate. Okay. Exercise. The funny thing is it doesn't produce butyrate. Your booty rate's up. Okay.
Oh my god.
Exercise
What's
produces. And this is-
Butyrate.
okay.
Go on, say it.
So that's butyrate is a beneficial short chain fatty acid that moderates inflammation. People with more butyrate are more
Are
resistant.
you trying to say it correctly?
Didn't I say it correctly?
No, you didn't. Say it again.
People with butyrate
Uh-huh.
are more resistant to inflammatory disease and are less likely to suffer from allergies. Wow,
Right.
interesting.
Mhm.
Butyrate is important in holding together the cells in your intestinal lining and preventing foreign molecules from migrating through and causing inflammation and autoimmune disease, aka leaky gut.
Yeah.
So what we talked about earlier about those tight junctions, butyrate essentially helps to keep those junctions together, preventing your intestinal lining from opening up,
Mhm.
preventing those foreign molecules, the undigested foods, etc., from going in. So butyrate
Is important.
is important.
So yeah, exercise can totally help heal your gut. And with that being said, over exercising can actually stress your gut out. Okay, I had that
too.
experience.
Yeah.
Because it's stressful. Imagine when you're really stressed, do you ever get like bloated and like gas and like cramps because you're like so
Oh, yeah.
stressed out about something? Well, that's the same as over exercising.
Remember last year I don't know if it was stress or that came before, but I was so stressed I got giardia.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if it was one or the other. If it was the chicken or the egg for the chicken.
I think you got it from something, but it really stressed you out. Like it took a toll on your mental health because your
Yes.
gut was deteriorating.
Yeah. And there was you. It was a combination of like,
Me.
turmoil.
Okay, shut up.
Go to tip number 2, lady.
The most peaceful wife you could ask for.
You're right. You're the best. You're the greatest. You deserve an award
Thank you.
for the wife that you are.
Thank you.
But,
But
you know, you're still young. You have some skills to develop. And you will
what the hell are those? What in the name of God are you saying?
butyrate time.
Okay. Now, the second tip is to try going gluten and dairy free.
Amen.
Now, try it for at least 30 days. See how you feel. Okay. It could change the whole trajectory of your PCOS journey if these are too inflammatory foods for you. Like we mentioned, gluten has a protein called gliadin in it, and that triggers zonulin and leaky gut. So you don't know, unless you cut it out, you don't know if it's causing that leaky gut reaction. Maybe you're just used to it at this point. So it's really important. Try it for 30 days. See how you feel.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I mean, we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
The protein found in gluten, gliadin,
Yeah.
causes zonulin
Exactly.
to open up the intestinal walls. And, we have this kind of stuff every day. And not to mention we were talking about inflammation and gut health. Sorry, I'm losing my voice.
He's
The
lost
booty rate
it.
has got me. So every time we eat gluten, there's also glyphosate in it.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, yeah. That
There's
affects
like
your
a
gut.
90% chance any gluten you eat has glyphosate, which is a pesticide,
Mhm.
which is going to destroy your gut health.
Yeah.
So every time you eat gluten, you're essentially blowing up this bomb inside your gut and getting rid of good bacteria. What? What's so funny? Just because what? This butyrate got you all messed up now? 'Cause I can't talk? Is that what it is?
No, blowing up this bomb.
Did I exaggerate? Was that too much? I was just trying to make this representation, like this, everyone can picture like what's happening. You know what I imagine? Like, like in the hotel rooms, I don't know, I've never seen these, but like, like those smoke smell things that they do? They like press it and like this whole smoke bomb comes out into the room and like it smells so really good afterwards, I guess. You never heard of this?
I have no idea what you're saying.
Okay.
You're going to have to show me a video later.
All right, after this, I'll show you.
Yeah,
I'll show you.
but
I'm going to
yes,
show you right now.
Gluten and dairy can be like blowing up a bomb in your stomach because it just depends how sensitive you are to them. If you're really sensitive, like for me, it's like you're destroying my microbiome. And I'm definitely going to pay the price. And I get a lot of messages in the sisterhood from sisters who went gluten and dairy free. Then they wanted to reintroduce it and see, what's going to happen, or they just felt like eating like pizza or something. And they're like, oh my God, I cannot believe the reaction. This is how I used to feel all the time. This is how I used to feel all the time. And I can't believe, I was okay with that. And I feel terrible now. So it can be life-changing. As Sirak Google's scent bomb. Oh my God, that must be so
See,
toxic.
it's like this.
Ew.
Hold on. This is one's for a
Oh my
car.
God, it's like an aerosol thing, and then he's clicking it, and then it's like shooting up this spray. Looks like gas, foam, whatever oh my God, no. Don't ever do that to me.
All right, tip
Okay.
number 3.
Tip number 3.
Before we end this bad boy, is taking L-glutamine.
Yes, taking L-glutamine, it's a supplement. My sister has it, and when she feels like she's been glutened, she takes it. I actually ran out and then never bought it again. But anyways, you could buy it if you're sensitive to gluten and dairy, or you really struggle with gut issues. It's a great supplement, and it's an essential amino acid that our body needs for a long list of functions. It can not only help with post-workout recovery, but also with cravings, appetite, inflammation, and blood sugar levels. Studies show that taking glutamine after each main meal helps reduce your blood sugar levels by slowing the absorption of food into your bloodstream. So that can be very helpful if you have insulin resistance. Now, studies also show that it helps regulate your appetite and cravings by decreasing levels of ghrelin, which is the hormone that stimulates your appetite and promotes fat storage. So that's helpful as well. If you feel like a bottomless pit, you feel like you have cravings all the time, maybe you're taking Ovasitol, L-glutamine could be a nice supplement to complement that if you want to give it a double whammy. So overall, it's really a strong anti-inflammatory to help repair leaky gut and reduce inflammation.
Love it. And there's a couple of brands that we like for L-glutamine. Thorne, Thorne. They have an L-glutamine powder or L-glutamine pill version. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Pure Encapsulation. If you go to Amazon or their website, Pure Encapsulation also has L-glutamine. No affiliation, nothing like that. Yeah. Just 2 brands that we really like who make really good supplements.
I took the one from Pure Encapsulations when I went to Dr. Phyllis Gersh for my PCOS years ago. She gave me, a bunch of supplements to take, and one of them was L-glutamine because I had a lot of chronic inflammation. Like my lab work was just out of control. I got my C-reactive protein checked. I had lots of inflammation. There were signs of it. I didn't even need the lab work. It was just clear when you looked at me. And L-glutamine was one of the pieces to my puzzle.
Yeah. I think it's probably something good to take to get your baseline up. Like if you know your gut health isn't optimal and you want to improve it, it's probably something good to take for like a few months, 3 to 6 months, see how it improves you.
Put in a smoothie.
Yeah, put in your smoothies, and it's just kind of like put in your daily routine and go from there. But of course, you should always talk to your doctor, especially for gut health. The one thing we should mention too is like you should do, if you can, like a stool test or some sort of a test to really find out what you're lacking and what you're deficient in terms of your gut health, so you can focus like certain probiotics, prebiotics to help with developing the proper balance of all the good bacteria in your stomach. Because it's not like there's just like one probiotic to take and one strain to take. Your gut is composed of like so many different bacterias, and in order for your gut to be optimal, there needs to be a certain ratio. Mm-hmm. If like one certain bacteria is overpopulated, then it can cause imbalances and it can cause, bad bacteria to overpopulate and etc. So you just want to be careful about just randomly taking. That's why we didn't mention probiotics in this episode. Like, just take probiotics. Is because just taking probiotics isn't enough. You need to know what you're deficient in, and just blindly taking any probiotic might actually it might not help, and you're gonna waste your money. Or it could maybe make the symptoms worse. So you don't know. So you have to really make sure what you're deficient in before going down that.
That's so true. Road. I just ordered L-glutamine to add to my protein powder.
Oh, good. Great. Can you add it to mine too?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Amazing. All right, y'all. Well, stay tuned. We're going to get back to, today's July 4th that we're recording this. We're recording in the morning before hanging out with friends. But later in the day, I'll be recording some more voiceovers. I can't wait. If you're a member of the sisterhood, just stay tuned, y'all. July, this month, you're going to get some really good new workouts. We're so excited, and it's going to be really fun.
Yes. All right, sisters, until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Bye. Hey, sisters, just wanted to let you know that all of our podcast episodes have corresponding blog posts that dive deeper into each topic. So head over to pcosweightloss.org/blog.
Is it slash or is it backslash blog?
I don't know.
I've always heard one or the other.
It's /.
Or slash? Just in case, you can also go to pcosweightloss.org.